Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 15. Week 15 is, as I mentioned last week, kind of the calm, or now the beginning of the final project storm. As you can probably see here on D2L, we have final projects loaded up on D2L. I'm going to briefly go over this and talk about some logistics and housekeeping as it relates to the schedule, because we definitely are here at the end. Last but not least, as I think I mentioned this last week, I'm going to briefly go over the idea of bringing in video into Flash as a possibility, and I'll go over kind of what I expect of that if in fact you choose to do so. First, let's read over this final project. The goal of this project is to create a short but visually and conceptually complete film. The subject matter is completely up to you. It must stay within the simple idea we have defined this semester as a narrative, and more specifically address the broad notion of a significant moment. This significant moment can be translated in whatever fashion you see as worthy of exploring. The significant moment can come from something personal, political, and/or cultural. This should be a complete and unique thought, not a commercial or anything like that, or a reenactment of something that has occurred. Please consider all sources of imagery we have dealt with up to this point. I'll sort of start with the end here. All these sources of imagery are images you have taken. We're not using internet images, please. Vector graphics. Okay. The third is going to be potentially videos that you've taken, and I'll talk about that in a second. So, in a nutshell, you're creating a narrative. It's going to be a little bit longer, 60 to 90 seconds. This significant moment can be really anything. It can be something personal. It can be a moment in a family history. It can be something significant, a life event, etc. It can be political. It can be cultural. Okay. The idea is this is a unique thought. Okay. The idea is that this is something that you have created. Why I put that sort of reenactment of something that has occurred. Going to the moon was a significant moment in history. I don't want you to simply show someone going to the moon. That doesn't really sort of show us anything new. That just sort of shows something that has happened. We want something specific from your point of view that is, as this sort of says, significant. Okay, so you're doing one, as I said, 60 to 90 second animated movie, exported as a SWIFT. Please note this is due Friday. Didn't mean to type that twice. Friday, May 15th. That's the end of finals week. You have until 11:59. Usually your stuff is due on Tuesday. I'm giving you a whole week to do that. Okay. The schedule is as follows. This week you're getting that assigned. Next week, on May 5th, you're going to be doing a proposal. You can look at the sort of week 15 file to sort of see what that is. It's just a written proposal. Please do one full page. This is going to count as an exercise. This is, state what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you see the significant moment sort of playing out, how you imagine the sort of film playing out in the visual sense. Okay, this is going to count as an exercise. The idea behind writing this is that you head into it with a specific idea. You know what you need to sort of get. And again, finals week, it's due Friday, May 15th. No late projects. Please get this in on time. Okay. Questions, concerns about this, please email me. Okay. I'm going to go over one little sort of technical thing. There's not necessarily an exercise in relation to this, but I want to sort of show you the possibilities. I mentioned, and a lot of you mentioned when looking at that Julia Pott video, Belly, the sort of complexity of some of the elements in there, specifically, I think, the waves were, and some of you didn't know that, and that you didn't necessarily need to know that, but that was video that was sort of brought into Flash, okay? What I've done here is a simple Flash document, okay? And I have two things. I have a piece of video just called Snowy Day. This has been converted to a .flv, that's Flash video. You can also use MP4s. I don't know the devices, as things as complex as nice video cameras or DSLRs, down to more simple versions of video, which will probably come from your phones. Again, you're not taking imagery off the internet or video off the internet. If you use video, it should be video that you've done. Okay. I'm going to talk about also how I want video incorporated in terms of what it might do in your movie here in a second. I'm going to go back to the beginning here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this video down, and all it is it's called Snowy Day, and it's just a bank or river with some snow. I'm going to go over to my scale tool, and I can actually sort of scale this video. Okay, and so I'm going to scale it down, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up, and I have this little bird movie clip. I'm going to grab it and pop it down there. It's kind of small. I want it a little bit bigger. Okay. And I'm going to create a simple motion tween. This video is pretty long. It's like a minute or so long. When I've put it into the timeline, it fills up that space. Okay. I'm just going to sort of show you the interaction between these two. Move this. Okay. So I have a simple sort of motion tween. And this is a movie clip that's happening on top of the video. Okay, and I'll sort of show you the exported video here in a second. Now, what is it that you can sort of do with video? One thing to sort of think about, and I'm going to require, is that you're not shooting video and popping it into your Flash movie and sort of calling it a day. Okay, your movie should mainly consist of animated elements. Okay. Elements that are text, that are parts of photographs that you've taken and chopped up, things that you've drawn. Okay, I only want video to sort of be a part of your movies if it's sort of background, if it's like the waves in that Julia Pott Belly movie, like it is in this, where it's just sort of setting the scene. It's not video of someone sitting there and talking and sort of moving your plot along. Okay, imagine these as sort of textural background elements, maybe some trees blowing in the background, maybe some, who knows, but something very, very minimal in terms of a sort of character or significant thing in your movie. Okay. With that said, I am going to test this movie, and you're going to see here the video playing, and you're also going to see my sort of animated element popping through here. So we'll hold on here a second. This video is considerably larger, so it's going to take a little bit here to export. There's my video playing, and here comes my bird. Okay. I did that tween over a good amount of space. In this instance, probably should have gone a little bit faster, but you'll see a very sort of real-looking thing, almost like you're real and unreal, and a very unreal-looking thing interacting. Okay. Quickly back to the types of video. I didn't expand upon that. Flash, for the most part, and I'm going to post like a little Adobe link that sort of talks about Flash video, wants FLV files or MP4 files. Those are MPEG files. There are a million different sort of converters online. A lot of them are free. You can also use what's called the Adobe Media Encoder. You should be able to download a trial version of that. I'm being kind of vague in my instructions because there's tons of different video formats. If you have a piece of video that you need to use in this sort of fashion in terms of a background thing, poke around online, see if you can convert it to the FLV file format. That's going to be the easiest one to work with because it's sort of made for Flash. If you're sort of at a loss, I don't know how to convert this, email me and I'm sure I can sort of figure it out for you. Please also note that video can take up a lot of space. Don't be doing this Friday, May 15th, trying to upload a 2 gigabyte file to D2L because you have tons and tons of video. Again, these should be sort of textural elements, background elements, if you're going to use them at all. You do not have to, but I want to sort of give you the possibility. Normandale has a whole video class that's sort of separate from this class, but the possibility of bringing in video is definitely a possibility here in Flash. Okay, that's about it for this. Again, Proposals are due next week. Please start working on your final projects and email me with any questions or concerns.